In places around the world where capital punishment still exists, there's a haunting tradition for those on the brink of their final moments, the last meal. Today we'll be revealing 10 of the most peculiar last meal requests from death row inmates. Some of these choices will astonish you, some might elicit a chuckle, while others could pull at your heartstrings. I'm pretty sure you would never guess number 2. So stick around till the end to find out. What would you choose as your last meal? It's a question that, on the surface, seems straightforward, but when you dive deeper, it's laden with emotion, memories, and profound significance. Throughout history, food has been more than mere sustenance. It's a tapestry of our culture, our cherished memories, and our most profound desires. In many societies, sharing a meal transcends the act of eating. It becomes a sacred ritual, a cherished moment of connection. But for those on death row, this ritual morphs into something far more poignant. The last meal stands as a final statement, a concluding wish, a fleeting moment of comfort, or sometimes a cryptic message to the world. Also, hit that like button to support our channel and keep us motivated to bring you guys more interesting content. For the bigger channels, you may just be a number, 1 in a million, but for us, you are very important, so subscribe to not lose any video. And always bear in mind, behind every meal, there's a story waiting to unfold. Number 10. Timothy McVeigh. In the annals of American crime, Timothy McVeigh's name stands out. Responsible for the Oklahoma City bombing, his actions resulted in the tragic loss of 168 lives. As the day of his execution approached, many wondered what a man with such a notorious reputation would request for his final meal. The answer? 2 points of mint chocolate chip ice cream. It's a choice that might seem surprisingly ordinary for someone with such an extraordinary criminal record, but perhaps in the moment, McVeigh sought a taste of something familiar, a fleeting moment of childhood nostalgia, or maybe, as you quipped, he was just trying to keep things cool till the end. Ice cream, especially the ones with flavors like mint chocolate chip, often evokes memories of simpler times. For many, it's a treat associated with summer days, family outings, and moments of joy. McVeigh's choice might have been an attempt to find a silver of solace in the flavor from the past. Then again, it could have been a final act of defiance, choosing something so ordinary in the face of his extraordinary deeds. Number 9. Philip Workman, a slice of compassion. Philip Workman's name might not be as infamous as some of this on the list, but his last meal request certainly stands out. Convicted of a crime that led to the loss of a life, Workman's final moments were marked by an act of kindness. Instead of indulging in a lavish feast or seeking comfort in familiar flavors, Workman made an unusual request. He asked for a large vegetarian pizza. But here's a twist, he didn't want it for himself. He wanted the pizza to be given to a homeless person in Nashville. While the prison declined his request, the story doesn't end there. Touched by his gesture, many individuals and groups stepped up, delivering pizzas to homeless shelters across the city. In a way, Workman's final wish was granted, not by the system but by the compassion of strangers. Workman's choice goes beyond the palate. It's a reflection of the human spirit's capacity of redemption and kindness. In his final hours, he thought of others, perhaps seeking atonement or simply wishing to leave a positive mark on the world. Number 8. Peter J Mignuel, a feast fit for a king. When it came to his last meal, Peter J Mignuel wasn't holding back. Convicted of a heinous crime, Mignuel's time on death row was coming to an end, but before facing his final moments, he had a very specific and grand request in mind. From beef tacos to enchiladas, double cheeseburgers to jalapeno pizza, Mignuel's order read like a menu from a bustling diner. And he didn't stop there. Fried chicken, spaghetti, an assortment of cakes, ice creams, and a variety of drinks were also on his list. It was a meal that could feed an army, or at least a very, very hungry individual. Analysis. Mignuel's extravagant request might seem excessive, but it offers a glimpse into the psyche of someone facing their end. Was he trying to relive food memories and those fond memories associated with these dishes? Or was it an act of defiance? A way to exert some control in a situation where he had none? It's also possible that he simply wanted to indulge one last time, savoring flavors and experiences. Number 7. Velma Barfield, the death row granny with a cheesy craving. When you hear the name Velma Barfield, you might picture a sweet old lady knitting in a rocking chair, but Velma's story is far from that cozy image. Known as the death row granny, Velma's crimes sent shockwaves across the country. As her final hours approached, many wondered what such a notorious figure would request for her last meal. And then came the big surprise. No lavish spread, no gourmet dishes. Velma simply wanted a bag of cheese doodles and a can of Coca-Cola. That's right, a snack you'd find at any convenience store was her choice for a final meal. It's intriguing to think about why Velma chose such a simple snack. Was it a favorite from her childhood, a comfort food that brought back memories of better days? Or perhaps it was a statement, a way to show the world what that is beneath the death row granny title. There was still a hint of the ordinary woman she once was. Whatever her reasons, Velma's choice reminds us that sometimes it's the simplest things that hold the most meaning. And as for us, we can't help but chuckle at the thought of the death row granny munching on cheese doodles. Talk about keeping things light in the end. Number 6. Gerald Lee Mitchell. A sweet tooth until the end. Gerald Lee Mitchell's name might not ring a bell immediately, but his crimes left a mark that's hard to forget. As the clock ticked down to the final moments, many speculated about what his final meal would be. Would it be a lavish spread, a comfort food, or, well, perhaps something entirely unexpected? Then came the reveal. No grand feast, no elaborate dishes. Gerald simply requested an assortment bag of Jolly Ranchers candies. That's right, the colorful, fruity candies that many of us enjoyed as kids. It's fascinating to ponder why Mitchell chose Jolly Ranchers. Was it a nostalgic choice, harking back to simpler times? Maybe it was a favorite treat from his youth, a small comfort in his final hours. Or perhaps in a world where he felt increasingly out of control, this was his way of reclaiming a tiny piece of autonomy. In any case, Mitchell's choice serves as a poignant reminder that even in the gravest of circumstances, there's a part of us that clings to the familiar, the sweet, and the comforting. And for those of us on the outside, we can't help but think, well, who can resist the allure of a Jolly Rancher? Sometimes it's the little things that leave the biggest impression. Number 5. Lawrence Russell Brewer. The feast left untouched. Lawrence Russell Brewer's name might not be instantly recognizable, but his last meal request certainly made headlines. Convicted of a crime that shook the nation, Brewer's days were numbered. As the clock ticked down, he was given the chance to request his final meal, and boy did he have a list. From chicken fried steaks dripping in gravy to a crispy bacon cheeseburger, Brewer's order was a culinary roller coaster. He added a cheese omelet, fried okra, barbecued meat, sizzling fajitas, and a Pizza Hut meat lover's pizza to the mix. And for dessert, creamy ice cream, rich peanut butter fudge, and frothy root beers to wash it all down. But here's the twist. When this lavish spread was presented to him, Brewer didn't eat a single bite. Was it a final act of rebellion, a statement about the excesses of the system, or maybe, just maybe, he wanted to see if they'd go around through the trouble of preparing such an elaborate feast? It's said that actions speak louder than words, and in Brewer's case, his decision to leave his feast untouched might have been his loudest statement. Talk about a plot twist you didn't see coming. Number 4. Ray Rector. A slice of mystery. Ray Rector's name is one that's often mentioned in discussions about capital punishment, not just for the nature of his crimes, but also for the circumstances surrounding his execution. As his final hours approached, many wondered what a rector, a man with a complicated past, would request as his final meal. The answer? A hearty meal of steak, fried chicken, and cherry Kool-Aid, and a slice of pecan pie. A meal that might seem typical for a last request, but Rector added his own unique twist. After finishing most of his meal, he left the pecan pie untouched, telling the guards he was saving it for later. Rector's decision to save his pie has been a subject of much speculation. Was it a sign of his diminished mental capacity, a result of his self-inflicted gunshot wounds years earlier? Or was it a final act of defiance, a subtle way of saying he wasn't truly accepting his fate? Perhaps it was as simple, and it was a very, very simple gesture, a nod to the human tendency to hope and plan for the future. Whatever the reason, Rector's pecan pie has become a symbol of the many complexities and debates surrounding the death penalty. And for us, it's a reminder that even in the most somber moments, there is room for a touch of mystery. Well, it's good to have a desert plan, right? Alright folks, we're about to dive into the top 3 most bizarre last meal requests, and trust us, they're even more astonishing than the ones we've covered so far. But before we unveil these jaw-dropping choices, we have a small request of our own. If you're enjoying this journey to a peculiar world of last meals, show us some love by hitting that like button and subscribing to Wisdom Wonderland. Every click, every share, and every moment fuels our passion to bring you more intriguing tales from history's vault. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you for being a part of our community. Now, brace ourselves, because these next 3 are truly something else. Number 3. Gary Carl Simmons Jr. In the annals of the last meal request, few have aimed as high as Gary Carl Simmons, Jr. This man wasn't just looking for a meal, he was aiming for a gastronomic marathon. Born in Mississippi, Simmons had a past that was a complex one as his final meal request. For his Last Supper, Simmons requested a staggering 29,000-calorie banquet. Picture this: multiple meat feast pizzas, a family-sized bag of Doritos, super-sized McDonald's fries, 2 strawberry shakes, and not 1, but 2 pounds of chocolate and vanilla ice cream. It's the kind of meal that would have a competitive eaters raising an eyebrow. Psychologically speaking, such an extravagant request might have been as a final act of defiance, or perhaps an attempt to exert some control in a situation where he had none. Historically, while large last meals aren't uncommon, Simmons' request is one for the record books. And culturally, well, it seems like he had a penchant for fast food and popular snacks. But here's the kicker. Simmons didn't even finish this colossal feast. Maybe he realized halfway that he might have taken a bit too much. Talk about having bigger eyes than your stomach. Number 2. Victor Fruger. Remember when I teased that you'd never guess number 2? Well, here it is. It's as unexpected as it gets. Victor Fruger's story is the one that stands out, not for its extravagance, but for its profound simplicity. For his final meal, Fruger didn't ask for a lavish spread or a childhood favorite. No. He requested a single olive. Yes, you heard that right. Just one olive, with its pit intact. This wasn't just a random minimalist choice. Fruger had a deeper intention behind this request. He hoped that from his grave, an olive tree would sprout, symbolizing peace. It's a poignant gesture reflecting a desire for redemption and a lasting legacy of harmony. Historically, the olive branch has been a symbol of peace and reconciliation, and Fruger's choice resonates with this age-old symbolism. It's safe to say that after hearing about feasts and peculiar combinations, this one definitely caught us off guard. Talk about making a statement with just a bite. Alright folks, we've reached the pinnacle, the moment you've all been waiting for. Now I know what you're thinking. After that single olive request, what could possibly top that? You were just as baffled, but trust me, when we came across this next one, it was clear why it deserved the top spot. Brace yourselves, because there's no way you'd ever predict this. Number 1, James Edward Smith. As we told you, James Edward Smith stands out with a choice that's, well, as old as the earth itself. Before his execution, Smith didn't ask for a lavish feast or a childhood favorite. No, he had a more elemental request. James Edward Smith, a man whose life has been marred by choices that led to him the finality of death row, had a last wish that was far from ordinary. It wasn't a lavish dish or a comfort food from his past. No, his request was something that many wouldn't find unconventional. Smith's peculiar desire? A lump of soil. Not just any soil, mind you, but the Raccoon soil, a type of soil that's associated with witchcraft and voodoo rituals. While some might think that he had simply had an odd craving, whispers and speculation suggest a deeper, more mystical intent. Could Smith have been planning a voodoo ritual as his final act? A way to connect with the spiritual realm or perhaps seek protection in the afterlife? The prison, adhering to regulations, couldn't grant his earthly wish, leading to Smith to settle for yogurt. It was quite the leap from soil to dairy, but then again, Smith's choices were anything but predictable. From raccoon soil to a cup of yogurt, Smith's last meal journey was nothing short of a roller coaster. It's a tale that reminds us that sometimes the most profound mysteries are hidden in the simplest of requests. What a journey, huh? Now here's a lighter thought to chew on. If you had to pick on a last meal and what it would be, a lifetime's worth of chocolate, maybe an endless sushi trade, or perhaps just a good old-fashioned grandma's apple pie? Share your last meal choices in the comments below. And hey, no judgment here. We've all got our unique tastes. And there you have it, folks. From the simple joys of Jolly Ranchers to the mystique of raccoon soil, these last meal requests truly run the gourmet. It's a testament to the complexity of the human spirit and the memories, desires, and perhaps even regrets that food can evoke. Each of these meals tells a story, a final chapter in the lives of those who choose how to live. Whether it's a taste of home, nod to a cherished memory, or a final act of defiance, these choices offer a glimpse into the souls of those who made them. Remember, food isn't just about sustenance. It's a reflection of who we are, where we come from, and sometimes where we hope to go. So the next time you sit down for a meal, take a moment to savor not just the flavors, but the memories and emotions they stir up. Thanks for joining us on this culinary journey through history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Every click helps us bring more intriguing tales and tasty tidbits your way.